From the foregoing, it may be shown that some intellectual substances are not entirely united to bodies. For it has been shown above that with corrupt bodies, the intellect remains a substance, as it were, perpetual. And if indeed the substance of the understanding which remains is one of all, as some say, it necessarily follows that it is according to its own being separated from the body. And thus the proposition is held that some intellectual substance exists without a body. But if many intellectual souls remain after their bodies have been destroyed, it will be fitting for some intellectual substances to subsist without a body, especially since it has been shown that souls do not pass from body to body. Now it is fitting that souls should be separated from bodies by accident, since they are naturally the forms of bodies. But that which is by accident must precede that which is by itself. There are then certain intellectual substances prior to souls according to their nature. Further, everything that is of the nature of the genus must be of the nature of the species, but there are some which are of the nature of the species, but not of the nature of the genus. Just as it is rational from the reason of man, but not from the reason of animals. Now whatever is of the nature of the species, but not of the nature of the genus, is not necessarily present in all the species of the genus, for there are many species of irrational animals. But it belongs to an intellectual substance according to its kind, that it is subsisting by itself, when it has an operation by itself, as was shown above. But it is not of the nature of a thing subsisting by itself that it is united to another. Therefore it is not of the nature of an intellectual substance according to its kind that it is united to the body, even if this is of the nature of some intellectual substance, which is the soul. Therefore there are certain intellectual substances which are not united to bodies. Still, the higher nature in its lowest meets the lower nature in its highest. But the intellectual nature is superior to the corporeal. But he reaches it according to some part of himself, which is the intellectual soul. It is therefore necessary that, just as the body perfected by the intellectual soul is the highest in the genus of bodies, so the intellectual soul, which is united to the body, is the lowest in the genus of intellectual substances. There are therefore certain intellectual substances not united to bodies, which are superior to the soul according to the order of nature. Again, if there is something imperfect in any kind, there is found before it, according to the order of nature, something perfect in that kind. For the perfect in nature precedes the imperfect. Now the forms which are in matter are imperfect acts, because they have no complete being. There are therefore some forms which are complete acts subsisting by themselves and having a complete appearance. Now every form subsisting by itself without matter is an intellectual substance, for the immunity of matter confers that it is intelligible, as is clear from the foregoing. There are therefore certain intellectual substances not united to bodies, for every body has matter. Further, substance can exist without quantity, although quantity cannot exist without substance, for substance is the first of the other kinds in time, reason, and knowledge. But there is no corporeal substance without quantity. Therefore there can be certain kinds of substance without body at all. Now all the possible things of nature are found in the order of things, for otherwise the universe would be imperfect. Even in eternity there is no difference between being and being. There are then certain substances subsisting without bodies, after the first substance, which is God, which is not in the genus as was shown above, and above the soul which is united to the body. Still, if something is found to be combined from some two, and one of them is found by itself which is less perfect, and the other which is more perfect and less in need of the rest, is found by itself. Now, some substance is found to be composed of intellectual substance and body, as is clear from the foregoing. But the body is found by itself, as is evident in all inanimate bodies. Intellectual substances, therefore, are found to be much stronger when they are not united to bodies. Again, the substance of a thing must be proportioned to its operation, because operation is the act and good of the substance of the operator. But to understand is the proper operation of the intellectual substance. It is necessary, therefore, that the intellectual substance is such as is appropriate for the aforementioned operation. Now, to understand, since it is an operation not exercised by a corporeal organ, does not need the body except in so far as the intelligibles are received by the sensible. Now, this is the imperfect mode of understanding. For the perfect mode of understanding is that those things which are intelligible according to their nature are understood. But the fact that only those things which are not intelligible in themselves, but become intelligible through the understanding, are understood, is an imperfect mode of understanding. If then, before every imperfect thing there must be something perfect in that kind, it must be that before human souls. In addition, Aristotle argues thus in Metaphysics 11. A continuous motion, regular and, as far as it is in itself, inefficient, must be from a mover which is not moved either by itself or by accident, as was proved above. There must also be more movements from more motors. Now, the motion of the heavens is continuous, regular, and as far as it is in itself, inexhaustible, and besides the first motion, there are many such motions in the heavens, as is proved by the observations of the astrologers. There must therefore be several movers who are not moved either by themselves or by accident. But no body moves except motion, as was proved above. But the incorporeal motor, united to the body, is moved by accident to the movement of the body, as is clear from the soul. It must therefore be several movers which are neither bodies nor united to bodies, but the celestial motions are from some understanding, as proved above. Therefore there are many intellectual substances not united to bodies. But the opinion of Dionysius agrees with these. Chapter 4 of De Divinis Nominibus, saying of angels that they are meant as immaterial and incorporeal. By this the error of the Sadducees, who said that there is no spirit, is excluded, and the position of the ancient naturalists, who said that every substance is corporeal. The position also of Origen, who said that no substance, after the divine Trinity, can subsist without a body. And of all other positors, all angels, good and bad, have bodies naturally united to themselves.